digital transformation is a process that has an impact on the whole chain of the construction industry. And at the moment, only some of the companies working in the construction chain are embracing the digital transformation. The problem stays into an integration of the transformation through the whole life cycle. Therefore, to solve problems of having a full digital transformation, we need to solve the issue of having the sector living in silos. So the processes need to be more interconnected through the whole life cycle. And the actor, so the company working in each process, need to be able to share data and models from the beginning to the end. So now the procurement stage, the engineering stage, sometimes, many times, is not very much linked to the construction phase of the project, and so on, to the operation of the buildings. That has a negative impact, because if just one of these processes is digitalized, it's not enough. The whole processes, beginning to the end, should be digitalized. I believe that digitalization is inevitable. It is a process that will become more and more important in the construction industry and in the whole built environment. What I see is that we need to have a collective effort, an effort that is coming from each and every leader in the market, the leading companies developing a digital solution, as we are, the leading company leading the construction industry in terms of manufacture, in terms of equipment, in terms of project management and quantity surveyors, organization likewise the RICS that has to set standards that are adopted by the industry, the developers and the end users. All of the leaders in each and every part of the life cycle of the building need to play an important role. There is a need of sharing data. There is a need of interchange data between the processes, because otherwise are locked down, are secluded, not shared, cannot be used in benefit of the use of the buildings. And so I see the future for the built environment embracing a digital model of the building, a digital model of the city that will help and support the city growth, the building growth, and the people living in buildings and cities. I will start saying what is very similar rather than the differences. What is similar is, as I said, there are similarities in the fact that there are a silos approach in every country. So the construction industry is plagued by having a silo approach. The people in different processes are not speaking to each other. They think mostly about their own area without thinking what is happening next. And we see everywhere in the world projects that are in delay, over budgeted, overspent, consuming much more energy and not efficient as they should be, where instead with a more comprehensive and life cycle approach, where the design is thinking about the operation and the detail engineering is looking at how the construction can be put in practice, what has been designed, and how then the asset that has been built will host the people that need to live there, regardless is an office or a mixed use or as a residential. That will be much more efficient in general terms. This is something that I've seen happening pretty much all over the world. So there is a collective global effort that the built environment need to do to break these silos down. And then there are many different depending on countries, because one of the things that I've seen that benefit a lot is the presence and the rigor of standards that are applied and approached to the countries. The difference are, first of all, I do believe China in the construction industry is second to none. There are a shared volume of project infrastructure and construction that are happening in China for each and every type is second to none. So that is becoming a new benchmark. The volume is something, the speed is something else that characterized China. And lately, in these last 10 years probably, there has been a step up on the quality. Are not just the Class A type of building or the luxury residential one that are built at top quality in global comparison, but mostly all the quality has improved, the speed is second to none, and the volume of project that China has is really without any comparison. And last things that I want to say is about the lack of a common standard. So the world doesn't apply a single standard for the construction. That makes it extremely difficult for international players like us, for example, to develop solutions that are applicable in many countries in one go. And that's also affect developers and affect companies who have international exposure, because they cannot compare very quickly the data. Because each country, for example, has a different standard for measurement of quantities. So for measure the value of a project, you don't apply in different places the same principle and the same standard. So there is a lot of deviation in the cost, up to 20–25% in very similar projects. So the industry need to work together. The leaders need to drive these principles on a global basis, and we need also global standards that help us developing solutions for the built environment that are more effective. BIM is going to be and is now a core engine that will drive the development of digital building, a development of digital blocks of building, and the development of a twin city model. BIM is the core and is the engine because it stays at the center. And stays at the center because it has the ability of a BIM model of bringing together each and every data of the project and make it tagged. Tagged means with attributes, cost, size, weight, characteristics in general, and pull up and down this data to the rest of a bigger platform that has the aim of offer a virtual replica of the asset that you are looking at. Let's say the use of a digital model, BIM, and the extension of BIM as a digital twin model of a building or of a city definitely offer not only an effective solution for the construction per se, but offer an effective solution for the whole life cycle of the building and therefore of the city. I'll give you a few examples. Okay? Embracing a BIM solution or a BIM model allow that is fully working, so that brings in all the data of an asset, of a building, for example, allow the participant to the project, for example, the construction industry in this case, of having a building before having built the building. So you have at disposal a digital replica of the building before this building is starting at some time to be in construction. So it is possible to run a number of simulations that simulate and replicate what is going to happen in the construction site. So it is possible to avoid collision of, for example, piping, and therefore is it possible to reduce this collision to zero. That will have an impact on the cost, because there won't be any rebuild of part of the building that has not been designed properly, avoid errors, deliver project on time and on budget, even saving budget, of course, and as a consequence, spend less in supply and in construction, and therefore having an impact on the carbon emission. So as far as the sustainable project is concerned, will be beneficial. If you extend this concept to a digital twin model, you have the same for a city. So you can run simulation against natural disaster, you can run a simulation on what is happening if you substitute a building with another one, when the building needs to be demolished or refurbished. There are all a number of virtualization of reality that are exactly what is going to happen, that allow owner and government to work in a better way, looking at the good of the city, the good of the citizen, and of course of the environment.